beyond these seas came our ancestors to stand upon these shores, confronting the mystery and challenge of a new continent and a new age. Here in this ancient St. Augustine schoolhouse, Florida's educational heritage took root. Spiritually, our forefathers had heard the promise to arise and walk through the land in the length and breadth of it, for I will give it to thee. And each succeeding generation of our people has taken possession of that land through work, strength and toil, patience and endurance, through study, ingenuity, against adversaries, with courage and sacrifice, and through the power of faith. Now Florida has come of age in the blazing excitement of the 20th century, to which our destiny, with that of the rest of our nation, is linked in new adventures of the mind. Industry is forever demanding university-trained personnel whose new ideas are the lifeblood of economic growth. And more, there is a need for experts trained to solve modern transportation problems in the construction of new highways, to assure efficient railway service, and to increase efficiency and safety of plane travel. The tourist industry is seeking graduates trained in such professional schools as Florida State University's Hotel and Restaurant Administration. Equally important to Florida's economy, especially the fishing industry, are the research findings of these marine biologists at the university's Oceanographic Institute. They're examining the growth rate of transplanted clams on Florida's Big Bend Gulf Coast. And what of our people, the richest of our resources? The professionally trained social worker is essential to the solving of the poverty and disease of our people. Only through long years of university study and training can these professional people meet the standards of performance that you will demand of them. Everywhere, knowledge is on the move, because our people and our society are on the move, moving, ever moving. From the mind of a child in its early searchings into great books that open new worlds of ideas and values, to the fully trained expert grappling with intricate knowledge and equipment, in our advancing society, time must be our concern. For what we plan now, so will our future be. And in education above all else, we must plan. For in such planning rests Florida's future. Time will not stand still for this eager boy. Each year will move him closer to his university career. But will the university be ready to meet his ambitions? Will his parents have been sufficiently interested in his future to have concerned themselves with the needs of their universities?
We regret to inform you that we are unable to accept your application to...
Unless we face facts today, this could happen to many Florida boys and girls tomorrow. For in 10 years, roughly 3 times as many of your sons and daughters will be seeking admission to Florida's state universities. What will we answer them?
We'd like to accept you. Indeed, we'd like to offer more courses, more sections, but we just don't have the space. That together with lack of professors.
But what happened? How come my parents or the state or the university didn't look ahead?
Looking ahead, planning ahead, that's just what the university has been doing. That's the reason for studies such as this one.
What would the young man have found beyond these gates had he been accepted? A university reaching out for greatness. Buildings, repositories of the world's knowledge. The essential space where education takes place. Space that must grow as enrollments grow. A choice among the professions or pre-professional training in a number of fields including medicine, theology, and law. An honors program offering the student advanced study from his freshman year. A faculty dedicated to the teaching and counseling of students as well as to research. And to the service of both the community and the state. This professor of government has behind him 4 years of undergraduate and 6 years of graduate study. For this man's specialized skills, both industry and the government will often offer twice the salary that the university can. Yet, we must have more of these men if quality education is to be preserved. But what is quality education? It is teaching which guides the student to independent thinking and a high level of self-expression. It is the presence of enthusiasm in learning. As one professor says,
to me, quality means demanding standards. It has been very satisfying for all of us here at FSU to realize that our students have excelled in many of the national examinations, and thereby surpassing, in many cases, national averages.
And standards mean hard work and creative thinking. But quality education is more than an intellectual experience. It is also involved in the social and spiritual life of the university. Whether as a spectator or a participant. There is a special joy in social life after the hard intellectual effort which the times demand from our students. It is often in moments of the sharing of mutual interests that knowledge is most deeply imprinted upon us. Knowledge that is carried into life long after graduation. Knowledge that becomes a vital part of the exchange of ideas with others in all walks of life. The creative expression of the self. This is the heart of a university education, whether in a laboratory or the soda shop, in discussing the latest philosophic idea, or criticizing a poem, or evaluating a political theory, or roughing out an answer to a problem. Or sketching a figure from life. The answer to spiritual questions, a dialogue with the university's religious leaders. Democratic student government, and with it, responsibility for decisions on university issues. Quality education means research. The discovery of new ideas is a university responsibility. Ideas which will enrich teaching, increase our knowledge, and shape the course of our thinking and our acting in the years to come.
You've just had an opportunity to see a brief experiment in reproductive physiology being conducted in my laboratory. The operator is Mr. Lawrence Espy, who has just received his doctoral degree. He is an example of the type of student that we hope to continue to turn out at FSU. His training has been highly specific in terms of its physiology, very broad in other scientific areas. The equipment that Mr. Espy uses and the support that Mr. Espy had was obtained through federal funds given to me in the name of the university.
State funds and federal funds together make possible the growth of Florida State's research program. Research such as this in meteorology, exploring the climatic conditions of the upper atmosphere. In this nuclear science building, scientists and graduate students employ a huge 12 million volt tandem Van de Graaff accelerator to examine the inner structure of the atom. This machine makes possible highly selective research, which attracts many international scholars to Florida State University. Is it possible to preserve food indefinitely through radiation? This is only one question which home economics researchers are investigating at FSU. The answers could well influence the nutritional habits of every family. The chemical basis of life is the object of intensive research on the part of our geneticists. In both the molecular biophysics building and the Conradi building, the atomic and chemical basis of life itself is studied. Questions as to the creation of life and its relationship to the vast star systems are slowly being answered. Space exploration necessitates our understanding of conditions in the vast reaches of the universe. Here, an FSU scientist measures the magnetic field around the distant planet Jupiter. Closer to Earth, our researchers study problems of government, and most recent knowledge derived from research is being applied to city planning and urban renewal projects. Quality education through research means that highly trained personnel are working directly with Florida's people in their social, economic, and cultural lives. The daily newspapers are continually reporting new findings in the fields of knowledge familiar to university researchers in business, economics, social welfare, education, literature, and nursing are only a few. These books, written by FSU faculty, examine aspects of our historical and literary traditions with trained and critical minds. In music, students hear such greats as Pablo Casals perform and teach. And FSU's Oslo Festival entertains thousands of theater-goers in Sarasota. Presently, there are 250 research projects covering 75 fields in progress at the university. The university's growth has been the result of cooperation between devoted alumni, far-sighted legislators, and the people of Florida. And growth must continue to be our key word, so that no young person of academic ability will be turned away from our gates. More buildings and more land to put them on means more space for teaching, community and state service, and for research. Our vision is clear. We know what we must do to meet our higher educational needs in the future. But are you aware of what the university needs and why? Our great university can become a greater one, but only when we can all remember that the security of the future lies in asking questions at present.